Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohd Asyrafi bin Sani. My metric number is 301914. I will start with the scope of our project domain, which is mental health. We incorporate type of Q in our project. So, what is a linked queue concept? Linked queue is a data structure that use first in and first out principle. We call FIFO. First element that was inserted is the one that got removed first. Linked queue has a dynamic size. Node has a two part, the data and link part. In a linked queue, there are front and rear pointers. Front point to the first node, whereas rear point to the last node in the queue. Insertion always happen at the rear part, and removal always happen at the front part.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Akiff Irfan bin Zulkarnain, number metric 300722. I'll be explaining about the NQ operation for this project. For NQ operation, there are two cases when inserting object. In this case, inserting appointment object inside the queue. So, first case is inserting when queue is empty, and the second case is when the queue is not empty. For the first case, when the queue is empty, both front and rear pointer point to the null. When user enter details and add appointment details object, which is a new node in this case, both front and rear points to the new nodes. For the second case, if there at least one appointment object inside the queue, the front is now pointing to the first node and the rear is now pointing to the last node. When the new appointments object is added, which is in this case a new node, it updates its pointer and now pointing to the new node object, which the rear will set link to the new node.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Haziq bin Idrus, metric number 300652. I'll be continuing on DQ operation. In our system, there are three cases when we want to delete the appointment object. So for the first case, deleting the first node when the queue contains only one single node. The second case, for deleting the first node but the queue has multiple nodes. And for the third case, deleting the appointment in the middle or at the back of the queue. Okay, so for the first case, we want to delete the appointment object on the first node, but in the queue, we only has one single node. So what happens is, we first store the appointment objects that's going to be returned later on. So at first, front and rear pointer is pointing to that single node. Then we need to update the front and rear pointer to point to null. Then we return the stored object earlier. Next, for the second case, we want to delete the first node, but in the queue we have multiple nodes. So first, we store the appointment objects that's going to be deleted, so we can return it later on. Then, at first, front is pointing to the first node, and rear is pointing to the last node. So we need to update the front pointer to point to the second node. Then we return the stored object earlier. So for the third case, we want to delete the appointment object on the middle or the back of the queue. We cannot directly do that. So what can we do is, we initialize a temporary array to store all the elements in the queue first. So we dequeue all elements in the queue and store it in a temporary array. And we search for the array to have the matching appointment objects that's going to be deleted. We store that object so we can return later on. And then in the array, on the point where we want to delete, we will shift to the left all the elements, and then for the last index of the array, we are going to set it to null. After all of that, we will enqueue back into the queue and return that objects that are going to be deleted. We need to be registered first before we can log in. I've already registered earlier, so next just inserting the username and password. Alright, log in now so I can use all the operation and this part. So we want to make an appointment, so first we'll enter the details on the date and time. Alright, successfully added to the queue with appointment ID 1000. Okay, so I want to make an appointment on the same date also, but on different time. So I'll add it to the queue. Okay, appointment ID 1001 with the time 10:00. Then I want to add another one on 31st. I'll add it to the queue also with appointment ID 1002. Okay, so let's say if I want to cancel that appointment on the 10 AM, so just first I clear, search for appointment ID 1001. Okay, this is the one that I want to delete. So I'll delete and hit yes. I want to delete this appointment. So it was successfully deleted, this part. Next, I search again, so there's no appointment found with that ID. So let's say if I want to delete appointment 1000, so this is the one that is found. So I want to delete this appointment. Yes. I search again, there's no. So I deleted the second appointment that was in the queue and the first appointment in the queue. So for the next part is consult mental health. So I've already pre-answered all the questions 1 until 8 with yes or no. Then I hit submit, so it tells me that I might experiencing bipolar disorder. Okay, so why do you guys not delete in the middle or the back of the queue directly?
Actually, it's because link queue cannot directly delete in the middle or at the back because it would directly violates the FIFO rules. Remember, insertion only happen in the rear and deletion only happen at the front.
I see.